Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make professional Roblox YouTube thumbnails for completely free using a program called paint.net. Plus I'm also going to be giving you guys some tips on making a YouTube thumbnail. So even if you don't want to download paint.net, I would still recommend watching to the end if you guys want to hear some really good tips to making YouTube thumbnails. Anyway, with all that being said, why don't we hop right into it. Alright, so first thing, I will be leaving a download link to paint.net in the description if you guys do want to use it. But as I said earlier, if you do not have paint.net and don't want to download it, that is completely fine because I'm also going to be giving some tips on making YouTube thumbnails. Alright, so with all that being said, why don't we hop into tip number 1. Tip number 1 would be to be creative and colorful. Now when making a Roblox YouTube thumbnail, you want to be very colorful if possible. For example, you don't want to use dark colors such as black, gray, white. You can use black and white, but as long as you mix them in with some brighter colors as well. Because if you want to get people to click on your thumbnail, you want to make it look eye-catching for people to want to click on it. To make it eye-catching, one tip I would recommend doing is making it colorful. Now this is very important. I've been making YouTube videos for months and this is one thing I definitely learned over time. So I would definitely recommend using this tip to your advantage. Tip number 2 would be to make your letters as big as possible. Now, when I'm on YouTube and just scrolling through YouTube or whatever, I always see people making the mistake of having these really tiny letters. Now, if you have tiny letters, obviously it's going to be hard to read, meaning you're not going to get a lot of clicks on your video because people aren't going to read the letters. So obviously you don't want this. When making a thumbnail, try to make your letters as big as possible. This is very important, so I would definitely recommend trying this tip. Tip number 3 would be to blur your background. Now in a lot of YouTube thumbnails, you might not want to blur your background, but there are certain thumbnails where you might want to blur your background. For example, if you check out a lot of my videos, you guys can see that I usually blur my background. Now, most of my videos, I either have a background of the avatar shop or something else. Usually when it's the avatar shop, I'll blur it out because in my opinion, it just looks way better. So I would definitely recommend blurring out backgrounds if necessary. Alright guys, so with all of that being said, why don't we hop right into paint.net and try to make a good thumbnail. Alright, so here we go. We are now in paint.net. So the first thing we are going to do is we're going to have to change the canvas size to 1280 by 720. So let's just do that real quick. Oops, wrong thing. We have to click on the little plus sign and then we type in 1280 by 720. Just like that. And we click OK, and here we go. Alright, so now that we have our canvas, I'm just gonna show you guys a montage of me doing this because this did take a solid 15 minutes to half an hour. So here's a montage of me making the thumbnail. Alright guys, so now I have to find a background for my thumbnail, so I'm just going to search up purple sunburst background for the thumbnail. So here we go, and we are going to switch it to images. Over here, images, and now we're just going to find a nice sunburst background. This one looks pretty nice, so we are simply just going to copy it just like that, go back into paint.net, and we are going to make a new layer and paste it in just like that. Resize it. There we go. And now I think I'm gonna blur it. It'll look a little bit better. So let's just do that real quick. Alright, so now we have to blur it. Let's see here. Alright, looks pretty good. That looks pretty decent. Yep, right about there is good. All right, we're just gonna hit OK. So let's hop right back into the montage. Alright guys, so that'll bring us to the end of the video, and this is the finished product of the thumbnail. Let me know what you guys think about the thumbnail down below. Anyway, that'll bring us to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and peace.